Hello, hello, guys and gals. Welcome to another episode of the Automation Challenge, where we'll go through 10 years at a time, through the decades, building cars, test driving them with automation, and then trying to beat the lap times in BeamNG, and then also giving them a good thrash regardless. Today I'd like to highlight one of the cars that my good friend DrDoomsLab has made whilst he was over at my house sometime. And it's his super van. It's a V6 twin turbo. It is pretty much carbon race everything. It's an absolute monster. See, it's got side pipes there and everything. This means it's legit. You'll be able to grab this car in the description below with a link that I'll leave, and also you'll be able to grab the car pack that is based on the cars made in this series. I'll update them every time I release an episode. All you'll have to do is re-download the zip and overwrite the previous one you had before. Okay, so without any further ado, let's get on. Okay, so let's get going. I'm not going to go with the face cam whilst we're in automation because it gets in the way of everything. As always, we're going to use a random generator to pick out which demographic we have to aim for. This time around it would be 1960s, so fingers crossed on muscle or even perhaps light sport. Do a nice sort of British kind of car. So generating a random number now. It wants to work. 27. So we know 24 is premium. 25, 26, 27. Utility Sport Light. Now that should be interesting. Let's begin. Okay. So here we are with the 1960s bodies on show. Now, light utility sport, that sort of thing, it's got the utility but not really any sportiness. It looks low, but that's just the thumbnail, I believe. I mean, we could always make it low, but let's have a look deeper. Ooh. Oh, now we're talking. Yes, this is the sort of thing we want. Very light. Obviously based on the British Mini. Actually, definitely my favourite British car ever made, without a doubt. And yeah, let's go for this. I mean, we could go for the van rather than the pickup, but let's see how we go. Being light utility sport, I guess the pickup would be the better option. Okay, so our country, I think that will be most relevant to aim for will be Fruenia, because they like the small cars, as far as I'm aware. Do remember, I'm not an expert in this game, but I have a fair bit of experience. So we'll try to keep things light. So 1960. How much? It's not going to tell us much about engineering time until we have it assembled. So let's just we'll go for monocoque, because it was, I think, one of the first monocoque cars ever produced. The original Mini. It could be the later of the original Minis, but I'm not that good with my car historics. We'll go for just a steel chassis and longitudinal. Now, normally for a pickup I would probably have chosen McPherson strut, but because this is a light utility sport, why wouldn't you go for double wishbone? It'd be definitely a small inline 4. Aluminium all round, I would imagine, for that day and age, just to keep reliability down a bit, or up a bit. Let's go for, I think, again, an overhead cam, because push rods, they don't like to rev too much. 4 valve. We won't worry too much about the engineering time and factors like that, because although they might affect the market score, it's not too bad, I think, when you're not in a career mode where we're just in sandbox. So, cast iron, all cast iron motor even, and we'll stick with cast bog standard everything, I think. No. Okay, so capacity, it's not going to need a lot being light sport. Let's lower it down. Sorry, that's not too much. I was thinking maybe we'll go for the mini formula of 1250. Just because that worked a treat for them. We'll leave these normal until we have the car assembled. for a single barrel carb to begin with. You can tune this once it's assembled. Let's just get it done. Okay, now let's quickly tune the engine, lower the compression because it's an old motor, and generally older engines as a rule of thumb will be lower in compression. We'll keep the cam profile there for now, looking like cam profile will basically prioritize your power to be higher up the revs than lower down the revs. Kind of almost gives it a turbo-like torque curve. That's really for racing engines, as you can see there it's its race. If you want more power down low, then definitely lower cam profiles will add to that. Also lower emissions, smoothness is better fuel economy, as you can see with the tooltip there. These tooltips are amazing. If you need help, they can vastly help you if you put your mind to what they're saying. Now, how much power? 54 horsepower we're getting through a single barrel carb. Should we try a twin single? Well, we haven't run out of tune yet because we haven't tuned, so let's get on with that. Where are we at with our RON? We need to raise that now that we've just added a second carburetor. Go up in compression. It's 92, isn't it? To there, 8 to 1. Lower our timing. There we are, just sat below our RON, our octane that's required. If you go above that, you'll start knocking, and that causes immense problems. If you go below that, you're just sort of wasting power that you could have. Let's raise up, what's our limits here? This is the limit of how high we can put our RPM before these components will start having reliability issues. So we can go as high as 6.5. So if we go to there, see straight away, as soon as we're at there, we're getting just a touch of problems. I mean, this isn't an issue so much, but really if we kept our torque curve there, our cam profile there, this would be too high. We can up it slightly, and you see now that huge dip now has come back. And look at this here, we've got a almost VTEC like torque curve coming through here, not sure how. See how big our exhaust is allowing, way too much. Let's tone that down, see max power, we only need that to be 80. You see how much torque in the lower range we get. Put it back to where it was there. And as we tighten down the size of the exhaust, it's boosting our low end torque much more than it was. You can even start choking it and get even more low end torque, which might benefit us in the utility field, but we'll go for the happy medium of restricting it just slightly. If we go up again, no, we're at 72 horsepower. That's not too bad for a little motor. It's pretty good for a little motor, especially in the 60s. Okay, let's give it a little rev. Cast heads blowing and blowing. Yes, we like a bit of that. It'd be nice if the pipes cooled down gradually. They'll obviously fix that, I'm sure. Now let's check our loudness, because that sounded quite loud to me, unless I have my volume up too high. And if we go for an initial muffler before the last muffler, that will give us a drop of 10 points. That's great. And we'll also restrict our high-end power considerably, but we get more low-end power. So maybe a baffled box, baffled both ways, and our loudness is in between where it was. We pop it down to there. Yeah, see, we're not sacrificing as much power with a first muffler baffled. and we're almost as quiet. It's not much different. Now, let's continue with the car. Let's go for the pickup body. Yellow. Am I going to do a yellow Mini? No. Blue Mini. That looks pretty cool. Keep calling it a Mini. It's not a Mini. Let's name it now, so I stop it. Okay, Rognall Barrow it is, because again, that's the first thing that popped in my head. So we'll go for fixtures later on, and let's build. So we'll go for now. This could be interesting. We could be able to make a 4x4 pickup because it needs to be. You need to score well in utility. It'll be expensive. Let's assemble it with front wheel drive and then we'll try it with 4x4. Can't see it being. We'll see. We'll see. 4 gears. Keep that at 100. Tune this after. Open different. All manual locker would be good for utility, I would imagine. Wow, radial tyres are going to be expensive in 1960, but we're not going to have to worry about the cost too much. Especially if it was a premium sector, but it's not. I don't think it was. No. Utility light sport. Light sport utility. That's the one. Be go with medium compound. Goodness me, they're tiny. Wow, look how big 175s look on there. And that's with 10-inch rims. Yes, that would be too much. We shall come back to this, but I'd imagine about 145. We'll stick with the 10-inch rims. Will be solid discs, I'd imagine, on the front and drums on the back. Come back and tune this as well. No under tray, because we're not off-roading or racing. 2 seats, of course. Standard interior, I would imagine. Basic radio. They will want hydraulic power steering. And we'll go for standard safety. Now, let's have a look at the stats here. What's better for drivability? Because I believe drivability will be more, well, it's utility sport, so let's go with the standards to start with. Now we have some stats. Let's bring up our demographic and see where we're doing. Utility sport light is the cookie, and we are shocking. Oh right, yes, we have to change to Farina, and it's even worse. No tuning so far, so let me just go over everything and we'll tune. So top speed's almost pretty much there, and we'll come back again to this as more final tuning. We need to get the brakes right, which, whoa, overkill. Oh wow, overkill. We bring down the pad type. I think this is the smallest rear brake application we can, or solution we can apply to it, and it's way over. Obviously we can adjust the brake bias, but let's bring the pad type down somewhat. We won't need too much. We need some more brake pressure on the front. Oh, that's as big as we can go because of the tiny wheels. Let's bring the pad type back up. It's actually not affecting our demographic here. Score's shooting down from that. Does it like more? No, it doesn't like more disc either on the front. Something's still hindering us like crazy. Comfort, seat count. Oh, for goodness sake. They want seating kind of utility. That's how much I know the game, guys. Okay, let's just change the body. What kind of seating has this got? It doesn't say. Let's click it and have a look. Oh, wrong page. Goodness me. Okay, let's have a look at seating now. There we are. So between 4 and 7. So go with 4 to make it lighter. Something you care a lot about? Not particularly. what is the problem? There is an issue here somewhere. It's killing. I guess it's a suspension. Oh wow, it's just like doof. There's like no softness. Let's put a utility preset on there. Oh, that's come up a fair bit. I think we are very hard dampers here, so let's drop those a lot. Rear damper's too soft. Okay, let's tune the suspension to match those lines up a touch more. That's looking better. Let's have a look, see what is killing our utility score. Power distribution. Wow. Looks like we're going 4x4, guys and girls. Oh yeah, that helped. Okay. So you're not moaning about that so much now. Gearbox, extra cooling. Toe speed. Light sport utility. Wow, this is a tough one. It's like contradicting itself. Okay, so you want some extra cooling. That's not helping the score though. Oh, we don't have any cooling. We need to put a grill on it. Any old thing will do for now. Now we're going for this front longitudinal. No transverse motors in the 60s. Well, I'm going to have to work this out. I'll be back in 2. Okay, so we're getting there now-ish. They actually want a handmade interior and phonograph fitted, and they still have really high affordability. 81.9% of the people in this market can afford it. Incredible. They do prefer hydraulic steering. They do like advanced 50s safety, standard 50s safety, but they prefer the most expensive option. Any quality up? No. Leave that where it is. They want better steering. Oh my goodness. Getting some score now. Affordability is not dropping off very much either. Oh, that's a big jump. Affordability is just going down by 0.2%. I wouldn't normally use quality this much, but I don't know what else to try at this time. At this point, I'm trying anything and everything. Okay, there we go. Oh. There we are. So fantastic steering, absolutely great. Do they prefer progressive springs? Oh, they do. They just want all the good stuff. Got lots of body roll there. Are we bottoming out? No. So we drop that down. Are they going to like a lower ride height? They are. It's creeping up. Light utility sport light really is like a, I don't know, a Range Rover or something, like a fast one. And I'm making like I was going to make a sporty pickup, but no, that's more delivery market, not utility. Okay, well, still not scoring great. I'm doing much better in the category from the last episode. Even that's not fantastic. We are in a different country though. Let's just check to see if Romania is the best for this market, or for at least this car. So we're nice and high-ish in Hana, which is known for a more conservative kind of cars, Ladas and Skodas, that kind of thing. Tvesia, they're not so keen on it. And Daluha, don't even consider it a utility sport light. Let's go with Ahana because they seem to be more keen on it. I guess the body style is more Ahana. It's more it's not like over the top, there's not too much there, there's anything unnecessary, which Gazmian markets do prefer, they're more like Americans. So I'll retune to the Arhanan market, and I will see if we can at least maybe hit 100. We may have already reached our limit, but let's have a go. We are so close. They prefer a skid tray, they don't care. Give me one, don't give me one, it doesn't bother me, they say. They get all fussed about the cooling, not particularly. The less cooling we can give, the more sporty the car will be. I think that's why this isn't moving very much, because I mean it depends on so many, but it depends on conflicting demographic desires. Like you don't want sporty and light with utility, because utility you need space and you know, everyday comforts and stuff, but sport, and especially light sport, you need small and just aggressive on the road, and yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one. They prefer the standard 50s safety rather than the advanced in Arhana. Do they want this as high? Yes, they really do. They want amazing steering. So high I'm getting warnings about it. Oh, it was. Oh yes, at the top, one or more quality settings are causing very high cost and engineering times. Well, you say that, but it's not actually costing very much. Material costs, for that might be quite a lot. Hey, they like it, they can afford it as well, so. Okay, so some issues with oversteer most of the time. We are in 4x4 mode, so we could afford a bit more tyre, I think, on the floor. And they don't like that. I suppose it's upsetting the setup. Maybe a bit more tyre diameter. Oh wow. Yeah, that was hurting us quite badly. How is it looking? Yeah, a bit more normal now. I guess they were like skateboard wheels at first, or something similar. Okay. See if we need to offset the wheels. Just got out one on each. Still getting oversteer constantly. Not a lot, but it's definitely over the red line there, so that's showing us that at these speeds, at this amount of steering angle, we are likely to be oversteering. We want the yellow line to be in between the red and the blue there. I want to put more tyre on it. They don't like it. Okay, well, it's a 60s car, we can't expect it to handle perfectly. Do they prefer the cross-ply tyres? No, they do not, at all whatsoever. How's it looking? Yeah, that looks about right. You know the saying, if it looks right, then it probably is. 45 meters to stop from full speed, which they say is 86. It's not too bad. Could put maybe a bigger motor in there, see if they like that. Wait, how much does the car weigh? It weighs 852 kilograms. Wow, that's not heavy at all. Okay, so things hitting us at the moment for utility are braking versus grip. So we need bigger wheels really. so we can fit bigger brakes in there. Power distribution, well, can't really do anything about that. Gearbox, well, that's the best option we can give it. Extra cooling, well, you keep moaning if I give extra cooling, the score goes down. Power, well, I think the score goes down because it's sport category as well, and it doesn't like the extra drag. Obviously power's a bit low. Now, towing speed, I think we're going to have to put a bigger engine in this. Just up bore and stroke size slightly. Environmental resistance. Or is that because of material? Oh yeah, the materials used. Okay, let's go and have a fiddle then. So let's use galvanized steel. And corrosion resistant steel. Let's load the score. Oh, they like the corrosion resistant. They don't like the panels made out of it. Aluminium? No. Not going to go fiberglass because that's silly. Okay, let's beef up the motor. So let's go for a 1.6. Go for a bit under square as usual with these kind of old cars. That's a bit of reliability. Actually, we didn't optimize the position of peak power, so I'd say we've won it by 3 grand. Okay, 75 horsepower. I'm not liking it as much. Dropped our score. Should have held the motor. Let me revert. Probably not exactly where it was, but it's pretty similar. Same capacity. Let's retune back. Back up to 102.5. So, oh yes, our cam profile. It's not giving us much more power, it's just shifting our torque forward. So we don't want to go too mad with that. Here's the compression, back to where it was. It's 8, here's 1. Okay, it's about where we were, and we got slightly more score somehow, probably because of the change in ratio between stroke and bore, I would imagine. Or because we've got our 2-barrel carb on there now. Oh, is that limiting us? Let's have a look at the flows. Intakes, valves, headers are looking fine. Just slightly on the intakes. They prefer standard air filter, they do. They like, no, we don't need tubular exhaust for an engine this puny. Well, I've lost a bit of power, but they're still digging it more. Okay, looking good. I'm happy with this score. I'm pretty confident we can do alright. See if it sounds the same. It won't sound the same because we've got a standard air filter on now. Low flow. But again, the car is so light we're not going to worry too much about power. Okay, I think we're good. I'm going to go with that. You know, we have some issues still. It's meant to be light, and the scores are good enough for this country. Final look. Actually does really well in the luxury categories because they really like luxury interior. That's probably a bug. But we'll go with it because why not? It doesn't make any difference really. Probably doesn't weigh too much more. But it's quite interesting how we're scoring the best in GT. Don't look at that, don't look at that. And of course we have to do the fixtures. So give me a moment. Okay, there we have it. Our little minivan, a Rognall Barrow as it's called. To get offset number plate there with the doors being broken in the middle. And yeah, I think we are about ready to export. Look at our stats here, that's what we're working with. 146 kilograms, that's incredible. Well, just look at it, what do you expect? Okay, to the track. Okay, test time. Here we are at Tsukuba again, just like before, 2 laps. And, oh, that's from a different track I did. Don't pay any attention to that. So, right, let's send her round. And away she goes. Slow and steady. Surely not as slow as last episode's car though. Up into turn 1. We're holding a speed of 38 on the apex. Oh dear. Sounding like it's getting all sorts of wrong. Through into the complex, as I call it. Diving into turn 1. 29 miles an hour. And this slightly faster turn, this isn't quite so much of a slowdown. 55 miles an hour out of that turn. 62 into the final hairpin. Now on the back straight, how can she do? Did she hit 78 like last episode's car, the Tillman Parker? Which had a much bigger engine, I will give it that. It's not going to do it. 69 miles an hour, 70, 71. I'm sure we'll have much better chance of getting around here quicker, that's for sure, on the corners. That one completed. Oh, it's slower. It's a 134.2. I believe it was 132 for the Tillman. I could be wrong. Looking like it's not loving the track. We'll see for ourselves. We'll see for ourselves soon enough. Pushing on towards the final hairpin, final lap. So turning out, completely off of the photograph. As you can see from the bridge in the centre of the track, is kind of at an angle, so that might have played a part, but this corner is definitely going straight for a bit where he doesn't need to. Okay, and across the line. That's 3-minute 1:33. Now, can we do anything to get anywhere near that with BeamNG? Let's find out. Okay, here she is. Ready for a little test run around Tsukuba. Some clipping there from the bumpers. Never mind. Let's see how she feels. Now she wasn't going very fast around in the test track run. And she's not going very fast around the BeamNG run either. But it's a darn sight easier to drive than yesterday's monstrosity. Well, it was a nice car, but it certainly wasn't nice to drive fast. It was downright scary. This feels a lot more drivable, that's for sure. yeah, I'm going to have a little bit more of a test run with it, and we will put down a lap or two. Okay, we're about ready to go. Let's stopwatch ready. We're going to go in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're away. Nice bit of four-wheel drive, giving us 0 wheel spin. To the first hairpin. Getting a little loose there. Really got to maintain your speed with this car, since there's not a lot of power and also not a lot of weight, so we can carry some speed through certain parts if we get it right. Off the throttle there, back on, nice and easy. There's plenty of the track. The more we steer when we're accelerating, the more resistance we give. So we want to try and use as much as the track as possible. Rising speed here, 60 miles an hour. Wow. Hold on to your handles. We're going to go in nice and quick. Back off down to third. Keep it above 63 if we can. Flat to the floor. Okay, over for our first lap. We're at 131. That's about the same as it was in automation. Got to pick up the pace. First lap wasn't all that, to be honest. A couple of mistakes. Everything to make up for here. Braking setup is pretty decent. Really slammed them on then, and they didn't lock up. They were just inkling like they wanted to. They're doing pretty well. Turned a bit lighter there. To the final hairpin. Down to about 30. Oh, that wasn't good. Sliding there on the apex. Wasting time. 2 minutes 30 on the back straight. Are we going to be able to get round there in time? Bit to fourth momentarily. Foot to the floor. Come on! Are we going to do it? And across the line. Take a second off there for reaction. 1:56.85, which means we beat the time of 3 minutes 11. Was it 3 minutes 11? No, it was 3 minutes 01. 3 minutes 01, so that was close. 4 seconds off. Wow, that was pretty damn interesting. What else is interesting is down here we have the controls for our drivetrain. Now, if we locked our rear diff and disconnected the front wheels, would we not have a drift car? Well, I don't know. There's one way to find out. It's highly unlikely. Oh, not too bad. Kind of wants to, but corners are a bit big for the amount of power that we have. That's a bad excuse, I know. Oh, it's definitely wood with a bit of practice. Let's see if we can get one pound the final hairpin here. Braking oversteer. Oh, I should have been in second. Yeah, it sort of wants to. We'll get a mangy on here. No, because I didn't do it right. If we can do a nice long slide around the final turn in fourth. probably end up disaster, but one way to find out. Nope. Oh, there we are. Oh dear. Oh, and it's wrecked. Gotta go and ruin it, haven't you? Oh, she's alright. It'll buff out. Right. Now, being that it has all this transmission action, perhaps we should try it with some climbing and off-road routes. Let's find out how she fares. Big bump. Oh. It's not doing too badly. But feeling it'll be better with the diffs locked up, so might have to give that a go. Finish this time first. Whoopsie, big bumpy bit there. 55 through there, oh my goodness. See, yeah, with locked diffs that probably would have not only been more fun, but also probably gained us some speed. Bump. Can't use handbrake with the 4x4, it just doesn't turn, so I'm using braking oversteer to get myself around these tight gravelly turns with very little grip. Oh, round the nook. Oh no, there's some damage, nearly there, come on. Down here. Gosh, and across the line. Well, quite obviously faster than the last episode's car. Now let's try again with the diffs locked. I just have to see how much faster or slower it will go. Look at that, much better. Now it's a rally car. Nope. Definitely got a nice slide to it, but it's just too underpowered to really use any of it. Well, perhaps not, perhaps I'm just not used to it. Oh my giddy aunt. Oh, all sorts of wrong through there. Oh, giving it the workout. There we go. Subaru Impreza style. Whoa, that is good fun. Drop the clutch, get it rotating. Oh, watch this bump. It's a very well made course, this, I have to say. It's very challenging and also very rewarding. Gear ratio is not doing too well here though. Don't really want to use first gear, but we have to sometimes. There we go, getting our Richard Burns on now. Richard Burns being one of the greatest rally drivers who ever lived. Until he passed away, of course. Doesn't mean he's still not one of the greatest in memories. Colin McRae probably being the greatest in my opinion. Boom. Well, that's that. Now, can she climb? That's what I'm curious to know. Okay, so we're at the hill climbing test lump on the automation test track, which I presume is designed to test this exact thing. Technical terminology by Rob here. And yeah, let's go for a nice stop start, see how she fares. Okay. Oh, perhaps we'll pop it into our lower range box in a second. Now remember, we have medium compound tyres. Oh, there goes our exhaust tip. Oh dear. Let's try that again from here. Oh yes, oh yes. Very good. Let's try from the other side. Okay, little run up. Wow, first gear's a bit too short, I think. That was third. Let's try second gear. Even being gentle on the throttle, it doesn't want to quite climb this one. It's a bit steeper. Just drop the clutch and have it. Oh, come on. Oh, it's nearly. We'll need a slight run up. It definitely won't climb it without off-road tyres. Let's get a small run up. That'll do. No better. Let's go from here. Oh, so close, and it's there. Look at that, wonderful. What a neat little car. This could be useful for all sorts when you get the tow bars fitted on there after the next update. Well, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.